The media is so wrong about how they think most people feel about tariffs. Let's talk about it. Hey guys, welcome to the Michael Singleton Show. So, for the past 2.5 weeks now, we have heard from the media, journalists, etc., that the vast public, most Americans, don't support tariffs because, as the media continues to say, it's a tax. It's a tax on the American people, and in some ways, that descriptive is kind of right, but it's also a little bit convoluted. It's more it's more nuanced than that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It is important, however, to think about, and I've talked about this on this show. This might be my second or third show talking about tariffs. It's important to understand that people, while they're not happy about the state of the economy, a recent CBS poll has shown that people aren't as optimistic as they once were. They also stated in the same poll that they're willing to give the president a little bit of time to sort of see where is this going to go. Yeah, we don't like it, but we want to give him some time to see, can we have fair trade? Can we sort of minimize the trade deficits that exist? Is there a possibility to reshore, meaning bring back some companies to the United States? Maybe we can focus on chip building, bring back steel and aluminum. A lot of that we get from China now. Let's bring a lot of that back to the United States. Are there certain high-paying jobs, necessities that we need? We're not talking about making shoes again or toothpaste, whatever the hell you may be thinking about. I'm talking about things that are really consequential to maintaining a strong, vibrant society, things that we really need. You need chip manufacturing because that's the future. That's where everything is going in terms of technology and the advancement there. Aluminum and steel, until we start building buildings and houses without aluminum and steel and cars without aluminum, we need aluminum and steel. Why shouldn't we increase building that again in the United States? We don't need China for aluminum and steel. We just don't. Those are things that we can absolutely do in the United States. And those would be thousands and thousands of really, really great paying jobs. And maybe an accumulative effect would be $100,000+ really great paying jobs. And yet the media is only focusing on one component of this. Look, I have to acknowledge things are going to go up in cost. There's no doubt about that there's the risk of that. The White House has acknowledged that about 50 to 75 countries have said that they're really ready to negotiate. I think the administration needs to move that needle quickly so that they can start announcing we're making deals with the UK, or we're making deals with the EU, European Union, or we're making deals with countries in South America. They need to begin to roll out that process as soon as possible to calm and settle the markets, but to also assure the American people that cost rising that they're expecting from constant and the perpetual narrative from the media is not going to occur. China's a different animal. China steals intellectual property, literally. So let's say you're a weather mat company. You guys have all seen the weather mat commercials. They make the custom weather mats for your cars. China steals that idea. Then they produce that in China, and then they sell it back to Americans at a much cheaper and reduced rate. Now, if you're a weather mat, the company that makes these weather mats, you can't go into a Chinese court and sue the manufacturers who've stolen your ideas. Yet China, if they made an idea and an American company stole it, they could file a lawsuit in an American court. There is a recourse in America that doesn't exist in China. Do you think that's fair? I certainly don't think that's fair. That doesn't make any sense. So again, the American people understand the basics of this. They may not be economists, but they understand, hey, this isn't fair. They understand, hey, certain things we should make in the United States. They understand if China's going to steal our ideas, American companies should be able to challenge that in Chinese courts. They understand that due process should exist in China as it does for Chinese-based companies in the United States. But I want you guys to just take a look at this quick clip that blew my mind away because, again, it shows that while the American people are concerned about the potential damage in terms of higher costs for certain goods, they're willing to give the president a little bit of leg room here because they understand the things that I just laid out. You got to have fair trade. You cannot have deficits. Countries can't take advantage of the United States. We shouldn't allow it. You need to reshore to bring some jobs back, particularly for critical components of our society, chip manufacturing, steel and aluminum, just to name a few. Even medicine. We should be making medicine in the United States. We get a lot of that from China as well now. You may not have even been aware of that. Let's take a look at the clip.
Feel about the tariffs?
Well, I feel like for years we've been getting ripped off, and why not make it fair? You know, 0-0. And I think Trump was upfront about it. He said we're going to hurt some now.
I think some of the countries they're already starting to come around. It's going to be good. I really believe that.
You have faith in Trump?
Yes, I do.
I think he's doing the right thing. In order for us to get back where we need to be, he needs to get the money somewhere, and they're charging us.
So as the one lady was saying at the end, we have tariffs where the United States has a lower tariff on countries who are importing goods to the United States that we're importing, I should say, from other countries. That's a true statement. The one gentleman said we're getting ripped off. Why not level set? He's not wrong about that, guys. And again, when you think about China and people are saying, oh, this is going to cause a recession, we have a $16 trillion consumer market in the world. The United States consumer market is $16 trillion. We represent about 30% of the global GDP is right here in the United States of America. China's economy cannot exist without the United States. Why? Because no other country has the population or the resources to buy the bulk of those goods. They don't have that. So Xi Jinping must come to the table and negotiate with Donald Trump. The Chinese economy and the stability of the Chinese economy depends on the United States' $16 trillion market. Who else is going to buy that? The next closest economy to the United States is Germany, $4 trillion. And then it goes down from there, ladies and gentlemen. So again, the media peddling a narrative to scare the hell out of people is wrong. We need to have fair trade. We need to decrease the deficits that exist in terms of trade. We need to have recourse for American businesses and entrepreneurs who have had their ideas stolen from China sue in Chinese courts. Imagine how many entrepreneurs have had great ideas in the United States and some random Chinese company steals their idea, produces the good for a cheaper result because they can. That American business now has to close down. All of the employees that person employed are now out of a job. How is that fair to American workers? How is that fair to American businesses and American entrepreneurs? 50% of all Americans work for a small business that's producing some type of a consumable good. How is that fair for us and our workers and our business? Keep the heat on China, force Xi Jinping to come to the table and have fair trade relations with the United States because they need our $16 trillion consumer market more than we need them. I'm Shermichael Singleton. This is the Shermichael Singleton Show. Thanks for watching. Drop your comments below and let me know what you think. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for future updates, share this video, drop comments. Again, I can't wait to see what you guys think. Do you think that the Chinese need to come to the table and have fair trade deals with us? Do you think that we can have fair trade with other countries, including many of our adversaries? I think we can, but I'd like to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Take care.